It starts with a royal invitation and a question no one could answer. Would he come? After years of exile, estrangement, and explosive headlines, Prince Harry's return to London for his father's coronation was anything but guaranteed. He had crossed oceans and burned bridges. His memoir shook the monarchy. His interviews lit fires across palace gates. And yet, on May 6, 2023, he walks into Westminster Abbey, alone. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. The Duke of Sussex has not worn a crown since he left, and yet the moment he arrives, all eyes are on him. It has been over 1,000 days since Harry and Meghan stepped away from their royal duties and relocated to California. Since then, the silence has often been louder than the statements. The rift between Harry and his family has become one of the most whispered topics in royal circles. But at Westminster Abbey, silence gives way to presence. He doesn't arrive with the king, nor with his brother. Instead, he walks in with his cousins, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, his expression caught somewhere between formality and discomfort. He's not late, but he's early. Earlier, in fact, than protocol might typically dictate for someone fifth in line to the throne. Some observers call it a quiet demotion, others a necessary reshuffling. But what's undeniable is this: precedence has been rearranged. Those with titles but no public roles are seated apart. Harry's new status is both visible and symbolic. He wears a mourning suit, elegant, dignified, but not military, not royal regalia. His medals, honors from another life, gleam against black cloth, but he is not in uniform. That privilege, after all, belongs only to working royals. And as he takes his seat in the third row, 3 rows behind the throne he was born beneath, another detail catches the public's attention. It's not in what he wears, it's in what he can't see. A crimson feather, large, regal, obstructive. It rises from the bicorn hat of Princess Anne, seated directly in front of him. A flash of red against the muted tones of the abbey, a symbol of rank, tradition, and to some, an obstruction. Within hours, speculation surges online. Was the feather's placement intentional? Was it a subtle act of palace discipline, a quiet punishment for years of rebellion? Theories spread faster than confirmations, but then a new detail emerges. In his book, Charles III, New King, New Court, royal historian Robert Hardman seeks to dispel the rumors. The feather, he writes, is not a message. It's not a slight. It's protocol. Anne, ever the dutiful royal, had reportedly asked if the hat would be a problem. She was told to wear it. She obeyed. Royal women, after all, do not remove hats in church, even when seated before exiled nephews. Still, the moment endures. A single image. Harry's eyes partially blocked, his view diminished. Symbol or coincidence, it doesn't matter. The public sees what it wants to see. And what it sees is tension. There is a brief exchange between Harry and his aunt. Anne, ever pragmatic, stops to greet him. They speak softly. A smile flickers. Lip readers suggest she asks if he can see. He responds with warmth. Humor, even. "I don't mind," he appears to say. "Sit at the front." In that moment, the weight of the day lifts, if only slightly. But the spectacle of absence is stronger than the spectacle of presence. Because while the king processes to the throne and while the heir stands beside him, Harry sits removed, physically and emotionally. There's no public embrace, no family photographs, no balcony appearance. And when the final notes of the coronation fade beneath the abbey's ancient arches, Harry doesn't linger. He slips out quietly. No carriage, no procession, just a blacked-out BMW waiting to take him back. To the airport, to California, to another life. 28 hours and 42 minutes. That is how long he stays in the United Kingdom. He misses the royal balcony appearance. He skips the coronation lunch. He does not pose for portraits. By the time his father and stepmother begin their official photographs, he is already on a plane across the Atlantic. His reason, the palace says, is personal. It's Archie's birthday. He wants to be home with his son. A choice many sympathize with. And yet the contrast is stark. Inside the palace, there are being raised. Prince William delivers a speech honoring the king. Charles lifts his glass to his grandchildren, George, Charlotte, Louis. And then, according to royal insiders, he pauses. He toasts to those who weren't there. He names Archie, a child he barely sees, a grandson whose life is now separated by more than just geography. It's not just Harry who is absent. Meghan, too, remains in California. Some say it's to avoid attention, others to protect her children. The palace releases no statement, but insiders suggest her absence was noticed. Even the king, it said, felt her silence. And yet the coronation continues, as it must, as it always has. There are other whispers, too, that Harry's early arrival, out of sync with the line of succession, was no accident. That Andrew, too, was quietly repositioned. Both men, once prominent figures, now sidelined. Not shunned, but set apart. One for scandal, one for freedom. And so they sit together. Andrew and Harry. Two princes whose royal titles remain, but whose roles have vanished. It is a tableau as symbolic as it is uncomfortable. What does it mean, then? Is this the monarchy making a point, drawing a line between service and self-interest? Or is it simply the way tradition moves forward, accommodating fractures with formality? Observers can only speculate. But amid the pageantry, the music, the gold, and the ancient oaths, one truth lingers. This was not just Charles's coronation. It was the monarchy's recalibration. A message in silence, in seating plans, in feathers. Harry's presence was brief, but its meaning was lasting. He came, he watched, he left. And as his plane rose into the sky, over the spires of Westminster and beyond the reach of the crown, the world was left wondering, will he ever return?